Hey guys, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Christy. I'm a homeschool mom to 3 kids, ages 10, 4, and 2. Today I'm going to be talking about a brand new curriculum called Harbor and Sprout. When I say brand new curriculum, is a brand new curriculum. Harbor and Sprout was just launched earlier this year, I believe in July, I think. And so it is brand spanking new and new to us in our homeschool. And so today I wanted to kind of break Harbor and Sprout's curriculum down, give you a look at some of the material and kind of what it's all about. So we have not actually dove into using this curriculum as of yet. I have 2 separate units that I downloaded and am in the process of preparing so that when we get back from vacation this week, we will jump right in. This is not a review video, it's just a look inside, kind of a flip through, kind of a breakdown of what this curriculum is like. Harbor and Sprout is a unit study approach curriculum that focuses on many different subjects for a wide age range. This would be similar to the concept of what Gather Round does. This curriculum is completely secular or neutral in its approach. It does not mention any faith-based things or religions. It leaves that freedom up to the families to include, and this way more people can use it. This curriculum is meant to be for everyone. So this curriculum says that its age ranges from 3 to about 12 years old. It is written on their website, however, that you can customize this for younger children and slightly older children as well. What's really unique about this curriculum is that it's a subscription. So it is $22 a month, and with that $22 you get every single month a full 4-week curriculum on all the materials for all different subjects, for all different age ranges, and the units are really unique in their themes, and I really love the variety that they provide. The subjects that are covered with Harbor and Sprout are science, nature study, language arts, writing, history, geography, art, music, and math. And then there's also some optional extension activities at the end of every unit that you can kind of build upon and follow more rabbit trails if you wish. Okay, so like I said, I have 2 months worth units. The first unit that I have is visual arts, and the second unit I have is engineering. And so in this unit study, all of the concepts that are taught relate to this topic somehow. And I love the unit study approach. That approach is very appealing to me for a couple different reasons. The first reason is I think that it does a really good job of relating all subjects to a life concept, and engineering and visual arts, seeing it through those eyes and how it relates to math or language arts or what kinds of subjects kind of correlate with those topics is really cool for a child to kind of grasp why we need these subjects and that kind of thing. The other thing that I love about the unit study approach is its appeal to wide age ranges. There's something about that one-room schoolhouse feel that I really love. I love that idea. I love the idea of having all of my kids kind of learning the same thing at different levels all at the same time. I think that that makes it a lot easier to teach multiple kids at the same time and kind of simplifies your homeschool a little bit when you can focus on everybody all at once. That being said, I haven't actually jumped into strictly unit study approach because I kind of am afraid. Like, I want to make sure my kids are hitting the benchmarks that they kind of need, you know, loosely. I don't follow it to a T, but I want to make sure that they're kind of staying on track and that they're learning everything that they need to learn to be successful in the long run. And so the idea of just doing unit studies kind of intimidates me. Harbor and Sprout does suggest that for older kids to use a separate math program, and then also for the younger kids use a separate phonics program, because this curriculum doesn't teach kids how to read, and you definitely want to make sure that they're building upon their math skills in other ways. So that being said, looking at the curriculum, I am blown away by, 1, the beauty of it, to the material and the information that's provided in it. It is very thorough. There are tons of different activities for each age range, and it's broken down really well that way. The creator of this curriculum has really tried to make it as user-friendly as possible. Now, whenever you are printing curriculums with lots of different subjects and lots of different components, it is tricky and it can get complicated, but she has done a really good job at providing printing tips and printing instructions and trying to make it as user-friendly as she possibly could. The artwork in this curriculum is beautiful. It's all hand painted and drawn. All the characters are unique to Harbor and Sprout. The information seems to be thorough. The concepts and the connection to the theme is really profound. I have really enjoyed looking through the information. It is a lot of printing. There are lots of pages. You're talking like upwards of 600 pages per month with this curriculum. They just provide so much. And no, you don't have to print everything. And you can kind of pick and choose what you print. The information pages, maybe you prefer not to print to save on that. That's kind of what I'm doing. I'm going to be reading a lot from my computer and then printing the things that I need to or that are visually appealing that I think will add to our experience. I am in no way going to just go through and print the entire unit. You can totally do that if you have a very eco-friendly printer and you're not worried about that. That would be a beautiful way to go. The curriculum is set up in a couple different downloadable ways in the fact that there's one big lump printing PDF, but then there's also, they have a section that's broken down by subject. You could print by subject and have those all spiral bound. You also have the option of printing by week, and that seems to be kind of the direction I'm going in. I like having 1 week at a time, and even just 1 week is a lot of pages. It's upwards of 100, sometimes more. So I want to make sure that I'm kind of trying to be as cost effective as possible, and also just going through and printing what I feel like I need to print. So now I'm going to show you kind of a screen recording of the PDF downloads that I have, kind of give you a glimpse into how this curriculum is set up and what you get with your download, and kind of explain some things about Harbor and Sprout in more detail. So here we go. Okay, so first thing I'm going to show you is the Harbor and Sprout handbook, and every single unit has a handbook that breaks down all of the curriculum. It has the book list and supply list and kind of the guide. First is the print guide. It tells you all the different ways that you can print the curriculum, the best ways to print the curriculum, and gives you lots of instructions in the printing process. This can be the most complicated part of a PDF curriculum, and so I do appreciate that they have a very, very thorough printing guide. Okay, so this unit I'm showing you is the engineering unit. It has a table of contents that has all of the pages of where everything is. It gives you a nice little breakdown of what each week is going to be covering for each subject, and the page numbers, you can find that on. And then they have a sample schedule of how you can break down the subjects over your week. You don't do every subject every day, you kind of spread them out over your days. And so this is a sample, which is great and very helpful to follow. And then she also provides you with blank schedules as well, so you can customize and make your own, which I really love. There's also a daily planning page for those who love checklists. And then you get into the supply list. Now, every unit's going to have a different, unique supply list to follow. Most of what I've seen are supplies you typically have on hand, and then a couple extras that you may have to grab. Then comes the recommended reading list. Now, these book lists are color-coded by subject. They are just recommended reading. You don't have to have these to complete the curriculum. They're just for following more rabbit trails. And I love how they're broken down by subject. They have a summary about the book, which is very, very helpful. Now here's where it gets into explaining the level learners, and each learner is broken into different categories. There's explorers, investigators, adventurers, and discoverers, and it's all based on age and ability. She also provides a really great family read-aloud suggestion, followed with discussion questions, and typically a recipe to go along with the book, which is super fun. One thing that I think is pretty cool about each unit is there's a monthly character, and this character follows your children along on their learning journey. This character is Beatrice for the engineering month, and it talks about what an engineer is, it talks about where she's from, and she's just trickled throughout the units to kind of guide the kids. There's a badge that they earn at the end of each unit once they complete it, and little cutouts that they can have, and then there's little more cutouts that can be used like paper dolls or to decorate their nature journals, or you could even print them on sticky paper and make stickers, and they're so cute. Okay, so now I'm going to show you a sample week of engineering unit. So it starts off with a breakdown of what's covered with each leveled learner in each subject, which is a really nice overview. For science, the first thing we're going to start out with is about earthquakes, and it gives you a little lesson plan with QR code links throughout the entire curriculum that link to videos and websites and more information. There's some map work with the tectonic plates that they're going to be filling out. There's some vocabulary and spelling words that they're going to be doing, word searches, note pages. And then for nature study, they go into how animals are engineers. So they start out with bees in week 1, and they have a couple more QR codes in here and some list of activities for each leveled learner. There's some information about bees and their hives and all of that. The first activity is them planning their own hexagon house, which is pretty cool. Counting bees, coloring pages for bees, and drawing pages for the little ones, and then also some note pages as well. And then for language arts, it starts out with the Bridge Builder, which is a poem. So there's a poetry study. You can either scan the QR code and listen to a reading of the poem, or actually just read it aloud. They encourage you to do a poetry tea time. They have some discussion questions with the poem and that sort of thing. Here is the poem all printed out for you to read, and a vocabulary list of words to work on for the month, and then a narration exercise, which is super important, some discussion questions, and just some unique little prompts to work out the poetry. B is for bridge, some writing practice, both print and cursive, and different levels of ability, which is pretty cool. The way that they do writing is pretty intriguing. They give them some writing topics to choose from, some very interesting topics, and then they break down the planning process for them in easy steps in a way to really kind of gather your thoughts. History looks pretty cool. Week 1 is early engineering in Rome, and they talk a lot about aqueducts, and they have a bunch of information and images and just like historical breakdowns and some notes and some pictures to color. And then they go into an activity of building your own aqueduct, which is pretty cool. I love all the hands-on activities that Harbor and Sprout has for their curriculum. There's mazes for the water and like little history cards and that sort of thing. Going into geography, it talks about solar energy, which is pretty cool, and breaks down solar energy maps and how solar energy is used around the world and kind of the science behind how it works, and that kind of thing. There's also an opportunity to design their own solar farm, which is pretty cool. And then this activity is so awesome. It's building your own solar oven and then having s'mores cook in there. And that's like so awesome. Going into music, you're talking about Bach, and he, you get a big biography about him and some information about him, which is really interesting. They have some QR codes for listening to the music and some of his inventions, and even some musical theory in there as well as a hands-on musical activity. So I love all of the different aspects that are mixed into these studies. Art, you're starting with color theory, primary, secondary colors, how to make the color gray, and the importance of the color gray and how it can make you feel. There's picture study and how they feel about certain art, and then they get to create their own art, which is really amazing as well. And then you get into math, and with math it's all about angles and using protractors, and they talk about what the angles are called and what their angle measurements are. They show you how to use a protractor, and they have a paper cutout protractor if you don't have one already, and they give you a really fun kind of animal angle measuring activity, and they customize it with each level of learner, so even the younger ones can participate in this math. One thing that I really have determined about this curriculum is they like to make sure there's a lot of diversity. So they have some global book recommendations. They talk about different what to do on nature days, and they just give you some extra activities towards the end, which is fun. Now I'm just going to flip through and show you some of the consumables, some of the actual activities and worksheets and things that your kids would be doing from this unit. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful. I think that whenever I hear about a new curriculum, I get like excited about it. I want to see what it's all about, and I feel like there are no videos about Harbor and Sprout yet on YouTube, and so I wanted to make this so that people can kind of see what this curriculum is about in a better way. I know that this would have been helpful for me when I was researching this curriculum, so I hope this was helpful. I definitely will give you an update and review as we use this curriculum this year in the next couple months. And for now, definitely head over to Harbor and Sprout's Instagram page. You can do a lot of research there and look at kind of the units that way. And then also their Facebook group is very helpful as well if you want to research some more into this curriculum. If you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in another video very soon. Bye.